But your defense and your overall intensity, yes, that's not a given yet. It's just not as this franchise is going on. D, on a mobile phone. D, you're on Sports Radio 610.
Yeah, I'm listen to you, man. I'm a native Houstonian. I'm living in Marshall, Texas, man, for the last year. So I've been starving for good sports talk radio. And so now I'm driving in. I'm sitting in traffic at 59 in the Beltway, just inching along, just missing Houston like I've lost my mind. But listening to you guys, man, it's absolutely hilarious because, first you're talking about, you're talking like the Texans were supposed to beat the world champions. And that's nobody's supposed to beat the world champions. And the fact that the first stringers did a decent job is as good an indicator as flipping a coin as to whether or not they're going to be a playoff team this year.
D, what did the defense do last week? The first team defense do that was decent.
They struggled. They struggled, and I expected them to.
To that extent that they got killed by Chase Daniel, you expected that, D? Because bear in mind, the first string was still out there against Chase Daniel.
Look, it's a team sport, and you got to measure yourself against your opponents. And they weren't out there just running scrimmage against dummies. They're out there running scrimmage against the world champions. And, they got their butts handed to them. That leads to the other thing about whether it's an excuse or a reason. The difference between an excuse and a reason is your intent when you give it. If you're trying to say that I didn't win and you're trying to deflect the blame, you're saying that you're not at fault for winning, that's an excuse. But if you say, you know what, I went out there and I didn't have the intensity, so we lost.
So it's an ownership issue.
And I lost. Or I was out there and we got beat by a better team and we lost. That's a reason. Now, you may not like it, but, without liking and disliking stuff about what these guys do, you guys would be out of a job and there'd be nothing for me to listen to while I'm in traffic. Peace out, guys.
All right. Thanks, D. Look, I will say this. I think he makes a valid point in that if you take ownership of it,
I agree.
a reason.